Good evening, Sobya. I'm good. How are you? My day was fine. How about yours? Okay, what about others? How is everyone? How many more to come? Oh, you were not able to hear me. Oh my god, I was speaking for 9 minutes just like that. Yeah, students, were you able to hear me? Okay, I'll repeat again. I have been speaking just like that. Can you hear me now? No, can you hear me now? Okay. So students, listen. The French Revolution had 4 phases. Okay, the 4 phases were the National Assembly phase, the Legislative Assembly, the Convention, the Directory. Okay, the National Assembly phase is nothing but the phase. Once I told you, no, the king held a meeting where people of third estate came. The third estate people were told to stand behind the people of the first and second estate. So they were even artisans, women. They were not even allowed to attend the meeting, but pamphlets, letters were written according to their demands to the king. So the king refused that no, you will not have more than one voting right, even though your population is more. So all of them walk out of the assembly. They go to the tennis court and take the tennis court oath. Okay, you know about that oath, right? I showed you the painting also. This is the tennis court oath, in which they demanded that they came together and demanded that no, we don't like this kind of behavior by the king and the people of the first and second estate. We will frame a new constitution for France, and we will now be called the National Assembly. Okay, so that is the phase that we are going to study, that how the National Assembly was formed. So I told you, once they go out into the tennis court, they come to a conclusion that okay, we will have we will be called the National Assembly. We will have a new anthem, flag and constitution for France. But what happened once they tried to make the constitution for France? King Louis XVI did not accept this, because obviously he is in power, right? He is very powerful, and he didn't want that power to be taken away from him, okay, by the people. So he said that no, I don't support this written constitution. But people again said that no, we will have a written constitution. We are really fed up that you are taxing, first of all, the third estate people. We are the ones who are working hard. We are the ones who don't have that much money compared to first and second estate. Still you're taxing us, you're treating us like that. So we don't want this. We want a constitution for France, okay, where equality, liberty, fraternity, all these values are integrated. Okay, so now what happens? People are, you know, angry because of subsistence crisis, when when the price of the bread has rose up to such a degree that they are not able to even purchase it, right? Because that is the staple food of Europe, bread. So now they are not able to you know, purchase that as well. So now what happens? They are really infuriated, angry. They get to know that Louis XVI has you know, armed his military to attack the third estate. So now third estate is really angry. They go inside the Bastille, which you can see here, the fort, and they take out the weapons from the what you say, fort, and they come out with weapons, armed, and they try to attack the Bastille. They put it on fire, and also they enter a small jail. Here there was a small jail, and they rescue the prisoners as well. Okay, they rescue the prisoners as well. And once this happens, we say that this is the time when the French Revolution started. Okay, so when news of this plan to use military force against the National Assembly reached Paris on July 14, 1789, people stormed the Bastille. Here you can see the painting, people storming the Bastilles. Okay, and now what happens, students? The Parisians, okay, the people who wanted to make the French society a better place, and the small groups of people called factions, and the Parisians organized their own government, which they called the commune. All these people, they stood for the rights of the common people of France, okay, that there should not be this first estate, second estate, third estate. In the third estate you have more population, still we are the ones suffering. So what about our demands? So we don't want this kind of rule, we want a constitution for France. Now they attacked the nobles, that is the people from the first and second estate. Records of feudal dues. Feudal dues were basically nothing but if you are working on the land of a rich clergy or noble, you have to pay some kind of money, okay. So that was kind of the feudal dues and taxes that they had to pay. The papers were burnt by these people, okay, by the third estate people, because if the paper is not there, then who will have the proof? Many nobles, because now they are scared for their life, they left the country and they were known as emigres. Louis XVI was forced to fly the new tricolor flag of France. This is the flag of France. I was actually giving you information about this flag. So students, blue and white has always been the traditional color of France. People in France used to wear ribbons, caps which had these kind of colors like blue and red. That is why they have incorporated this color in the flag, which stood for the people. And they were also very much impressed by the tricolor flag, horizontal tricolor flag of Netherlands, which is also red, white and blue in color, but in a horizontal way. So the French people, they were very excited about this, and you know that we are so excited to know about the history of Netherlands, and we are very much impressed by the flag of the Netherlands. So we are going to incorporate that, but in a different way, in a vertical striped pattern. So many theories are there, many stories are there linked to this French flag, but this is the reason they chose these colors. And now Louis XVI had to unfurl the flag of France, and now he accepted that okay, I am not that powerful. Even if I'm powerful by my status, so many people, if they come together and storm my fortress or fort, of course I'm not that powerful that way, because unity, there is unity in the third estate. And even people from first and second estate, many of them philosophers, they also supported the people of the third estate. So now goodbye Versailles. So basically Versailles was the main, you know, palace of the king. So basically goodbye Versailles. Parisian commune. Parisian means the commune, the government, the local self-government which people made in Paris. Feared that Louis XVI would have foreign troops invade France to put down the rebellion. Now it is a revolution, students. Everyone is protesting. So even the ones who are protesting are also scared that maybe because the king has so much power, with money and everything, adieu means goodbye, bye, okay. Adieu basically means bye, okay. I think it's a French word, yeah. So now the people who were protesting, they were also scared about their life, that if Louis XVI, because he has money, he can buy the military and everything from other countries, and he could tell them to invade our country and stop this rebellion. So Louis XVI's wife, Marie Antoinette, was the sister of the Austrian emperor. One more thing I want to tell you. I told you in the starting of the class that Louis XVI married another, like a lady from another country, Austria. Okay, so she was the sister of an Austrian emperor. A group of women attacked Versailles on October 5, 1789. July 14, they attacked, you know, this, what you say, Bastille. And just a few months after that, August, September, just 2-3 months after that, on October 5, 1789, a group of women attacked Versailles, okay, Versailles, the palace of Versailles, forced royal family to relocate to Paris along with National Assembly, okay. They forced the royal family, that is the family of Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette, to relocate to Paris along with National Assembly. Royal family spent next several years in the Tuileries Palace as virtual prisoners. You know, now the people are powerful. Group of women also attacked Versailles. Why? Because they were fed up with Marie Antoinette's lifestyle. Because of her also, there was so much treasury loss, money loss. So they tried to attack the you know, Versailles, which was the main palace of Louis XVI and his wife Marie Antoinette. And for the next few years, okay, they had to spend their life as virtual prisoners, okay, in the Tuileries Palace. I'll tell you about the Tuileries Palace also. It's a very famous palace. I think you can just Google. I can't show. As virtual prisoners. Yeah, photo is here. It's an old picture. So this is the Tuileries Palace. Tuileries Palace, Paris, France. So here they had to stay after Versailles was attacked. Changes under the National Assembly. Now National Assembly is in power. What changes did they bring? Abolishment of guilds and labor unions. These guilds and labor unions, basically these were groups of people who would tax people and all that. Okay, so there will be no more guilds and labor unions. Abolition of special privileges. No special privileges for the first and second estate. Constitution came of 1791. Declaration of the Rights of Man. Equality before the law. Many nobles left France and became known as emigres, because you know, when we say immigrant, like a person who comes to another country and starts a livelihood, that person is said to be an immigrant. Same thing, they are known as emigres. Reforms in local government. Okay, many government changes took place. Taxes levied based on the ability to pay. Taxes were imposed but based on the ability to pay, not like just taxing person who does not even have money. Okay. Hall of the National Assembly in Paris. From a contemporary print, the States General, which met in May 1789, had adopted the name National Assembly. Okay, the States General, which met in May 1789, they took the name National Assembly. When the mob compelled the king to move to Paris from Versailles, the assembly followed and convened in a hall near Tuileries. From the speaker's rostrum at the right of the picture, the assembly was addressed at various times by the leaders of the revolution, including Lafayette and Mirabeau. Students, this Mirabeau and Lafayette, okay, these were actually people, philosophers, great people who actually were not from the third estate. They were from the first and second estate, but still they supported the third estate people. Okay, so here you can see them. The mob filled the galleries, hissing or applauding the speakers. These people from the first and second estate itself did not support the first and second estate, and they wanted to stand for the rights of the third estate. And the hall used to get filled by the people. Okay, those who could not, I'm not able to read this. Please, someone read it for me. Yes, someone read the last line for me. Yes, Ayush, can you please read the last line for me?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Ayush. How are you?
Ma'am, I am fine. How are you?
Fine. Can you please read from here? Those who could not.
Those who could not crowd inside stood without and were informed by signals from the windows of what was going on within.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, students, basically the people who could not, you know, come inside, or when the hall was totally filled, then people used to do like they used to use sign language, they used to do some hand gestures and all that to tell the people outside the window what was actually going on. Okay, so that was the kind of impact the National Assembly had. Okay, so this shows that even if the king is wrong or the people are wrong, if the protest is done in a right way, it can lead to the change in the entire framework of a country. Okay. Declaration of the Rights of Man, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Okay, what was the Declaration of the Rights of Man? It was basically a document which spoke about the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Earlier, the press sanction and all that was done by the first estate, right? They had all the freedom to do whatever they wanted to do with the press. Now it's not like that. Now freedom of the press basically means that they cannot just sanction or do anything what they want. Okay, guaranteed property rights, liberty, equality, fraternity. The French constitution is based on these main three things: liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay, liberty means that liberal thought process. Okay, that freedom. Equality means like everyone is equal before the law. Fraternity means brotherhood, right of the people to create laws. Okay, the people have the right to create laws which will lead to the progression of the country, progression of the society. Okay, not just the first or the second estate. Right to a fair trial. Right to a fair trial means like trial in courts. Okay, if someone is wrong, they have to be questioned by the law, not by the church. Okay, so that Declaration of the Rights of Women. Now we will see how the women's, students, one more thing, during the French Revolution, the voting rights for women was still not obtained. It came much later. Okay, so Declaration of the Rights of the Women. Journalist Olympe de Gouges argued in her Declaration of the Rights of Women that women are equal citizens and should benefit from government reforms just as men did. So because women also wanted that kind of, now third estate has got some freedom, but still the women in the third estate still did not have that kind of, thing, that kind of liberty. In fact, the women in the French society as well, at least the princess and those from the nobles and that, they had the money or some special privileges, but still the voting rights was not there. So Madame Jean Roland also served as a leader in the women's rights movement and was able to heavily influence her husband, a government official. Okay, she was able to influence her husband, a government official. Women did gain some rights during the French Revolution, but these were designed for purposes other than liberating women. Okay, they had some rights during the French Revolution, but they were designed for the purposes, other than liberating women. Women could inherit property. What were the rights given to them? They could inherit the property, but only because doing so weakened feudalism and reduced wealth among the upper classes. Divorce became easier, but only to weaken the church's control over marriage. So you're understanding, women could take the property, but only because doing so, if she does that, weakened feudalism, that feudal lords and all that I told you, like if a third estate person is working on the land of the first and second estate, the money and all that, the dues that the person has to pay, that will become little lesser. Okay, so only because of that, and reduced wealth among the upper class, so that is why women could inherit the property. Next is divorce became easier. Divorcing your husband became easier, but only to weaken the church's control over marriage. Okay, so earlier I told you that the church was very powerful in the French society. That church would not have that much control over marriages now, because divorce is granted. End of special privileges. I told you, right, the special privileges that all these people were enjoying, that also came to an end. Church lands were seized, divided and sold to peasants. Okay, whatever the land, the church land, even you remember the third estate had to pay a tax called the tithe for the church, for the running of the church. Okay, so now see how time changes. The church lands were taken over by the people, divided, and it was sold to the farmers. Civil constitution of the clergy required that church officials be elected by the people. Now officials of the church will not be elected by within themselves or by the king. They will be elected by the common people with salaries paid by the government, and government will pay them the salary. 2/3 of the church officials fled the country rather than swear allegiance to this. They didn't like this and they fled the country. They would go to a country that would still give them the special privileges. All feudal dues and tithes were eradicated. All special privileges of the first and second estate were abolished. Okay, the 30 provinces and the petty tyrants. You remember the petty tyrants elected by Louis XVI, appointed them, okay, to rule the 30 provinces of France, right? They were replaced with 83 new departments. Okay, these 83 new departments would be ruled by elected governors. Now France has a proper government, okay, and it will be according to the law, not just by the king. New courts with judges elected by the people were established. So can you imagine, like, so many changes have taken place in the French society now? How are divorce and church related? See, church, when marriages happen, where will it happen? It will happen in the church. The church is like a religious, spiritual kind of thing, right? So when two people come together in the church and they are blessed by the Father, the Pope and all that, it instills a kind of confidence in them that we are getting married under God's presence, under a church, under the Pope, under the people. So now if the divorce is taking place, if the divorce is taking place, it will weaken the church, because now if divorce is taking place, the society will not believe that much in the institution of the church taking charge of people getting married. Right, Lipika? Anuj, emigrants means like people who have fled the country. Suppose if in this country someone is, not liking it and they go to another country, so they became an immigrant of that country, right? They are like immigrants to that country. Lipika, did you understand? Church will become weak because first of all the marriages are done under the church, in the society, French society, and even today also, I mean in Christianity. So if the church is that powerful that it has, I told you, no, the king and the people of the first and second estate, they believe that the church, the words of the God and everything, it is the special privileges that is given by the God to the king, and all the people under the king are also blessed by God. So if you are thinking that marriages is blessed by God in a church and divorce is happening, now they have allowed, okay, if a woman is not happy with a man, or a man is not happy with a woman, but it's actually the other way around, she can divorce him, right? Divorce was granted. So of course, why would people go to church and marry? The church's essence will not be that strong, right, when it comes to marriages. Okay. Now we will come to Constitution of 1791. Before that, let's play a quiz. Like, I want to ask you a few questions. Okay, let's play quiz. The storming of the Bastille took place on which of the following dates? Option A, 14th June 1788. Option B, 14th July 1789. Option C, 14th November 1789. Option D, none of these. %85 of you have answered it correctly. Very good. Those who have answered correctly, let me see. Lipika, Lavanya, Sobia, Maggie, Om, Neha have answered it correctly. Students, it is option B, 14th July 1789. Okay. Next question. Okay, which of the following is true about Bastille storming? Bastille, that fort, okay, storming of the Bastille. First, it was a fortress prison in France, option A. Option B, it symbolized despotic powers of the French king. Option C, French common men used to hate the Bastille. Option D, all of these. I'll repeat again. Which of the following is true about Bastille storming? So option A, it was a fortress prison in France. Option B, it symbolized despotic powers of the French king. Option C, French common men used to hate the Bastille. Option D, all of these. Students, 85% of you have answered it correctly. It is all of these. It was a fortress prison because I told you there was a prison also inside, okay, from which they, freed the people. And also it was symbolized as a despotic powers of the French king. It was symbolized as a like a power of the French king. And then French common men means, the third estate people used to hate the Bastille. Now coming to the next question, the ones who have answered it correctly are Neha, Ayush, Lipika, Sobia, Dhanshri, Om. Moving on to the next question. The members of the third estate declared themselves as option A, General Assembly, option B, State Assembly, option C, National Assembly, option D, none of these. Students, C option is correct. Okay, National Assembly. 55% of you have answered it correctly. Om, Dhanshri, Neha, Sobia, Lipika have answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Next question. The dash estate, from the first, second and third estate, you have to tell me the answer. The dash estate was least prosperous in France. Prosperous means growing, least growth financially and everything. The least prosperous in France. Option A, first estate. Option B, second estate. Option C, third estate. Option D, none of these. 55% of you have answered it correctly. It is the third estate. So Pranit, Neha, Maggie, Sobia, Dhanshi have answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Who among the following was the wife of King Louis XVI? Option A, Queen Mary. Option B, Queen Mary of Prussia. Option C, Queen Marie Antoinette. Option D, none of these. So 83% of you have answered it correctly. Om, Dhanshri, Neha, Ayush, Lavanya. So correct option is option C, Marie Antoinette. Okay, this you can think and answer. 1789, the revolution started. Question is, Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were sentenced to death. Okay, they were also sentenced to death by the French society. That and all we will discuss in the next class. But you can take a guess. So, because that is after 1791. So, one more hint I'll give you. Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were sentenced to death in option A 1793, option B 1792, option C 1794, option D 1795. 16% only of you have answered it correctly. It is 1793. Remember, Constitution of France came in 1791. Just 2 years after that, 93, they were sentenced to death. Okay, so let's see who has answered it. Only one person answered it. It's Maggie. Okay, moving on to the next question. King Louis XVI, before he was sentenced to death, he did many things, right? He wanted to come in alliance with other people also. So he came into secret negotiations with the king of, so he wanted some strength, right? Now when the people are doing like this, he wants to build strength and friendship, alliances. So he came into secret alliance negotiations with king of which country? Option A, Japan. Option B, Russia. Option C, England. Option D, Prussia. Of you have answered it correctly. Students, it is option D. Okay, Prussia, with the king of Prussia. Om has answered it correctly and Maggie has answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. Very easy question. The National Assembly drafted the Constitution of France in which year? 1791, which is option A. 1792, option B. 1793, option C. 66% of you have answered it correctly. 1791. Pranit, Neha, Lipika, Om have answered it correctly. Moving on to the next question. The dash alone could decide when to call the meetings of the Estates General in France. Who could only decide that I want to call the meeting of the Estates General in France? Option A, king. Option B, pope. Option C, noble. Option D, people. Who could decide that now I want to call the meeting of people in France? 75% of you have answered it correctly. Yes, king. Option A is the correct answer. 75% of you have answered it correctly. Lavanya, Pranit, Lipika, Om, Neha, Dhanshi. So you know now only king could decide when to call the meeting of the Estates General. Moving on to the next question. I'm choosing the question. Because some questions I cannot ask you as I have not completed that part. Only according to what I have completed, I want to choose the question. Okay, tell me this. Who were not denied? Not denied, I'm saying. Entry into the National Assembly. When National Assembly was there, right? Who were not denied entry into the National Assembly? Who was not denied entry? So who could come into the National Assembly, they are asking. Option A, educated members. Option B, women. Option C, peasants. Option D, artisans. %25 of you have answered it correctly. It is option A. Lipika, Pranit have got it right. I'll just go to the next question. Okay, how much percentage of land was owned by the church and the rich members? Okay, option A 80, option B 50, option C 90, option D 60. 25% of you have answered it correctly. It is option D, 60%. Okay, so Lavanya, Om have answered it correctly. This next question is very important, students. The first and second estate sent how many representatives each in the estates general meeting? You remember na, estates general meeting was called by Louis XVI. So the first and second estate sent how many representatives each? So you have to tell me each how many. So option A 100, option B 300, option C 200, option D 150. %, of you have answered it correctly. It is option B. Okay, Om has answered it correctly. Neha and Pranit has answered it correctly. Moving on to the which was the representative body of the France, which was called the representative body of the France in the starting? First, National Assembly, option B, General Assembly, option C, Estates General. %, of you have answered it correctly. It is option C. Abhyudaya, Sobia, Maggie have answered it correctly. Okay, it is option C. So we'll continue with the Constitution of 1791 in the next class. Okay, I'll just provide you with the coins and then six collected by Pranit, 5 collected each by Lavanya, Maggie, Abhyudaya and Lipika. So in the next class, I'll continue with the Constitution of 1791. In the next class, we'll try to complete this chapter. Bye students, take care.